Hey everybody, it's Matt Powers and I want to talk to you today about weeds. That's right, the thing that everyone hates, the plant that no one wants. The weeds of your lawn, of your garden, of your landscape. Let's talk about your weeds today. So these plants that we don't like, they can be just plants that are taking up space. They could be plants that are poisonous, plants that are spiky. They could be plants that are just invasive. They just take everything over. There's all these different things that we could label as a weed, right? And that's because weeds aren't an actual category. Weeds are, a human-made concept to categorize plants into this thing that is a plant that you don't want. So what does that mean? Well, all it means is that weeds have names. Weeds are plants too. And we need to understand what they're actually doing, what's their function in this ecosystem. I mean, why do we even have weeds? Why are they here? You know what I mean? We need to understand the reason behind these things, and then we'll have a better appreciation for them. So weeds are reparative mechanisms. They're there in a system to help fix a problem. So after there's a fire, they have all these thistles that come because they bring phosphorus into themselves. They accumulate phosphorus and then they break down onto the surface and make new topsoil with phosphorus in it. And then we see all these plants that come in when we do our gardens. And it's like, where are all these weeds coming from? The seeds are already in the soil. It's what you've done to the soil that signaled to those seeds that it's time for them to grow and fix the problem. So those weed seeds were already there to begin with. So when you rototill and you're loosening it all up, you're like, oh no, why do I have Bermuda grass? Because your soil was so loose. Your soil was like, okay, I need to hold this together. Things are crazy. Call it the Bermuda grass. And the Bermuda grass comes and then takes over. Or, you know what I mean? It's just like that's what's going on, is they're trying to repair a problem. If you have really compacted soil, you might be getting deep-rooted plants that are super hard to pull out because they're trying to break open the soil with their roots, and when they die down and break down, that's a pathway deep into the ground. So what do? We act like weeds in our system, and then we outcompete the weeds. We do better than the weeds. So if your soil is really loose, tie it up with roots. If your soil is really compact, decompact your soil. Maybe you don't have a broad fork, you don't have the money for that, but you have money to buy daikon radishes, and they can do what the weeds do, which is tunnel down, go deep, and then so you're like, I need to tie up the soil. Clover makes a thick mat. And you're like, I need to break up the soil. Daikon radish. Suddenly you're sounding like Masanobu Fukuoka, the natural farmer, right, from Japan. So there are things we can do to learn from the weeds, to look and go, okay, that weed's here, that indicates this is going on with the soil, this is missing. And so we can diagnose the ground that we have, we can imitate and amp up what's going on in the soil. If you've got lupins growing, it's like, yeah, amp that up. Throw some field piece in there and get the nitrogen fixation to be amped up and get that field looking really, really nice. Lots of organic matter, all those kinds of things. But we need to understand that they're plants. They're part of a system, and they're telling us a story that we should be listening to. So weeds are reparative mechanisms. So when you encounter a weed today in your garden or any day in your daily life, understand that that plant right there has a name and a story to tell you. Live regeneratively. I'm Matt Powers.